Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, our absolutely fabulous Abbey Burton Commonwealth Games silver medalist is also a pretty mean shot with a rifle. We go rabbiting. First, Mike Yardley, the top shot, has been on safari in Africa. Let's see how the other half live.
Well, Africa really is special. You go there once and there's something about the red soil, the sun rises, the sun sets, and you go back and you just keep going back and back and back. I've actually lost count of how many times I've been to Africa. I've certainly been on well over 20 safaris. We made a film. I was lucky enough to spend a month in Africa making this film, which is about various hunts. We started off with a buffalo hunt for a cow buffalo in the Limpopo region, that's north of Johannesburg. We were very near the Kruger, in fact almost adjoining what's now the Kruger Park in that area. And it is interesting because you can shoot a cow buffalo much more economically than you can shoot a bull, but you have just the same excitement, just the same adventure. And in the words of one South African PH, Michael, it doesn't matter where you shoot it, it's the last 30 meters that counts. And so that was definitely the case here. You're going in and out of the herd. It's quite exciting stuff. You've got to keep a cool head, you've got to keep still. And of course, when the time comes, you've got to put the bullet in the right place, because otherwise, if you stuff things up, you can get into a lot of difficulties. We're onto fresh tracks. It looks pretty good, the signs are good. So we'll carry on. We'll see what happens. But you never know. That's buffalo hunting. They're quite close, maybe 50 meters, not far at all. Keep doing this until we get the right opportunity again and again and again. That small one that just went past. A lot of people today, there's a lot of talk about trophy hunting, and I've never really been a trophy hunter. I hunt for the experience of the place, the people, and the connection to nature that goes with hunting. She's gone. We moved from there and then we shot some kudu. That's the antelope with the long curly horns. And an interesting thing about kudu is if you ever shoot one and you look down through the spiral of the horns, you can always see the beast's eye because it looks up through its own horns when it's bringing forage down. So there's always the eye dead center in the middle of the spiral. When you take a gun to Africa, you're not a tourist, you're a traveller, and you see the country, you connect to it and you connect to its people in an entirely different way than if you're in a, in a charabanc being taken through a game park. It's a completely different deal, and it's a wonderful experience. I've been using the new Seiko 85, which has a number of interesting features. 3-lug bolt, semi-controlled feed action, which the 75, this is the which came before it, this is the 85 rather than the 75, didn't have, so it's that little bit more certain on a dangerous game rifle. And also you've got this feature where you have to just depress the magazine like that to remove it, so you don't end up with the magazine falling out at the wrong moment, which again, all very, very useful features to have. Clear gun. You'll notice that even at home I'm taking gun safety very seriously. That's because guns grow cartridges, as one of my old sergeant instructors used to say, and you must never let familiarity breed contempt, and I try not to. As for optics, I am something of a connoisseur of rifle scopes. As you get older, you find that you become more dependent on your telescopic sight. I am not so good with iron sights as I used to be, but what I have discovered in recent years are these absolutely brilliant Swarovski telescopic sights. This is one of the new Z6 eye scopes. That's an illuminated scope. There's the switch. You can put on the red dot, and I actually think that red dot saved my life in Botswana when I suddenly found myself with an elephant charging at me a while back, and as the charge began, it came in from about 60 yards. I switched the red dot on, and I was looking at the beast, and the PH, there was a black PH standing next to me, and at about 30 yards or thereabouts, he took a shot, a warning shot over this beast's head, and unfortunately, as he took that shot, his rifle, which was an old 375, fell to pieces, and all the rounds just ended up in the dirt at his feet, and unfortunately the elephant kept steaming on, and I had the red dot on its brain, or where I thought its brain was, and as it came in, probably crossed the 20 yards coming into 15, I didn't want to shoot it, but I did, and it did the job. It stopped it instantaneously with the 458 lot, but I don't think it would have been as easy without the red dot Swarovski, because in this circumstance the beast was obscured by heavy cover, and it was just coming through, crashing through the cover. You didn't really have a clear view of its head, and the red dot made it, I thought, much easier. But anyway, very useful piece of kit. And the thing that distinguishes this new Z6 range is that it has a 6-fold zoom. So in this case, this is a 1:6 power. I also had tremendous success recently with the new Z4 Swarovski, another really excellent piece of kit. And what you're paying for with these expensive scopes: perfect clarity, you're probably buying 10 minutes, maybe longer at the end of the day, perfect reliability, they hold their zero, they don't fog up, you can depend on them literally, even when your life depends on it. And so that is a very, very important deal. And generally, I think that people are sometimes tempted, I think they're learning the lesson now, but some people are tempted to buy an expensive rifle and then put a cheaper scope on. I'd say do it the other way around. Go and buy your Swarovski scope or similar, and buy, a plain rifle. I mean, this Seiko 85, it's a very, very good rifle. Not an expensive rifle. Tikka makes similar rifles that are very good value. There are others, Hauer, very good value, and Blazers, they're not particularly expensive. If you pay for a custom gun these days, you could easily be paying £5,000 or £10,000. If you want to do that, if that floats your boat, fine, but don't skimp on the £1,000 plus or so you'll have to pay for a decent scope these days, and indeed on the binoculars. So my advice to you would be buy the best binoculars you can one year, and then maybe the next year, if you're strapped for cash, buy the very best scope you can. But don't think they're not an advantage, they are, and they're well worth the cost.
Abbey Burton is well known to the world for winning a silver medal in Olympic trap at the Commonwealth Games last year. But she's also a rabbiter. In the world of shooting, Abbey Burton is a star. She won silver for Olympic. In the world of shooting, Abbey Burton is a star for Olympic trap at the Commonwealth Games in 2000. Not clays, but these. Abbey lives in Somerset and rabbits the same as a sheep. Luckily, she is a mean shot with a... Happily, she is a mean shot with a rifle as well as a shotgun. Kit for a rabbit shooter. That kit comes in especially handy at night when rabbits are thickest on the ground. And that's when Abby's boyfriend Ed Ling can get away from work to join her.
I'm not the patient sort of person, so I just like to get the lamps out and fly around the fields and see what we can get.
Abby, is he a flyer or is he more patient than he's sounding like?
No, he's definitely get on the quad bike, I lamp and drive, and he just soaks up the auto and fires off as many as he can. So yeah, you get through some cartridges. But I mean, the night vision, night scope, I suppose it's not as much fun for the person watching, but if you're actually there in action behind looking through the night sight, it's actually quite interesting. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? I mean, you can see all the way around the field.
Oh, you can, yeah.
Probably
I mean,
very
I've never.
effective as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm sitting on a seat that's actually very light to carry around. It's also comfortable to sit on, and you've got a rest, which is obviously better than my free hand when I try and do it on my own out alone. It's useful, definitely very useful, and it folds out and you can adjust the levels to any ground level whatsoever.
I mean, does it keep your rifle steady? Does it work like that?
Yeah, it keeps it steady. The only thing it doesn't do is if it's raining, it doesn't keep you dry, but hey, we're in the country. You've got the adjustment of the front end of your support, and that can hire to the height that you want it and that you're most comfortable with. Levels here down below, with, like I said, if you're on uneven ground, you can hire one side up compared to the other. And then you've got obviously the back rest that moves to your comfortability, and the seat that's round for you to sit your bum on. You've got the infrared side of it here, and I just think it's amazing that you see things through it without a lamp or a torch.
Because that's one of the problems with traditional night vision, is you have to have two rifles, because you've got to have one set up with your night vision scope and you've got to have one set up with your day scope. So what you're saying here is you could use this all the time if you want.
Oh yeah, you could. If you had this kit here, you could use it for day and night, and you'd only have to have one rifle and set it up once in the day or at night.
And you've got brightness control as well.
Yep, brightness. Yep. You've also got your controls here for moving the sight, because in the scope you've got crosshairs, and the crosshairs actually move.
But they're not wire crosshairs, are they, like in other scopes?
No.
Or glass, painted onto reticles. These are video crosshairs, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, and it's quite good because when you zero it, the crosshairs actually move themselves in the scope to where you want to adjust it. So
let's get. So you rest it on your rifle rest here.
Yeah.
You put a hole in the target.
Yeah.
And then you simply click on that button and wind the crosshairs, the video crosshairs, down to where the hole you made is, and bingo, it's zeroed.
Yeah, well, you'd fire more than probably one shot just to check that it wasn't you firing a dodgy one.
That is what people call a one-shot zero.
Yeah. I'd like to think I was that accurate.
Now the other thing you're clutching is a little mobile video unit. What, that doesn't come with it, but why is that handy?
No, well this is ideal because if you're out with the night scope, obviously you're not using a lamp, so the person that's accompanying you, it could be quite boring for, but with this item it's quite handy because exactly what I'm seeing through the scope is exactly what the person accompanying you can see through the camera there, and it's simply a normal three-way plug that goes into your telly and then you plug it into the camera, and and it just makes it more interesting and more fun.
And now it's night time, a bad time to be wildlife if Roy Lupton's around. OK, so we changed our minds. We can see more in daylight. But the trouble is the birds, especially Rocket Ron, are conditioned for evening flights, so we're not sure what we'll get. But if there was an opportunity to shine, it's today, as for Roy and his friends, it's their last day of the season with the birds.
No, it is, the season's coming to an end now. We've had a good trot at it. We started off in going over to Europe in October with the Goldies, and we've flown all the way through. So the season's coming to an end for us now, end of February, beginning of March. Really, the main reason for it is that we've got a lot of young rabbits getting about, a lot of young hares coming around. Or the hares are definitely pregnant, and the rabbits are pregnant. Obviously, the game birds are out of season, so flying with the goshawks, etc., ends at the end of the game season. So we can't fly pheasants or partridge or duck now. So everything's coming to a close. Really, just to leave the quarry alone, let the quarry build up again, and away we go. Obviously, in the off season in the summer, the birds go in for molt, so they change all their feathers. So any feathers that have been broken or damaged in the rough and tumbles of the season, they can replace those, and they're fit and 100% for the start of next season. Hopefully, next season will be a bit better for us.
Why do you say that?
It's been a very difficult season for hare hawking with the eagles anyway. The hare numbers in Europe were a little bit low because they had a very wet spring, so the hare numbers didn't do particularly well over in Europe. They're coming, obviously, hopefully we'll get a better breeding season with them this year. And the snow came into Scotland quite early on, so when I'd normally be up in Scotland for 5 or 6 weeks, we had a lot of snow, so it made the hills impassable. So hopefully next season we'll be a little bit more prepared for it.
We're starting the afternoon sport with Sherlock the Goshaw. It's the youngster's first season, and Gary has only flown him a few times.
He's a 50-50 imprint immature goshawk. He's a male, half Austrian and half Finnish, so that means he's sort of a medium-sized goshawk.
So it's first season?
This is his first season, yeah. He's going to be used for breeding next season.
How's it gone?
It's been a bit tricky this season, really, with land. You need quite a lot of land to fly a goshawk, so it's been a learning curve, but the main thing is to get the foundations right for his breeding. He's got quite distinctive patterning down the side here, if you notice. It doesn't make any difference to his flying ability, but you know, certain birds command higher prices for different patterning. It's just more of a personal choice, really.
As we head off to the first warren, we're joined by a young family. Roy shows the boys what it's all about.
And then, when the rabbit bolts, hopefully, the rabbit gets caught in the net, then we can take the rabbit home, and we've got some food for the ferrets.
He also gives them a chance to handle the ferrets, and when he's netting, he also brings along some special tools for the job. In this case, his specially bred little ferrets.
Okay, so what we've got here are a few different ferrets, but what I've been trying to do over the last few years is breed more and more of the smaller type. Some people call them greyhound type ferrets or whatever else, but these are very good for when you're netting, because they're that small they can just run in and out of the nets without pulling it in. Yeah, I mean, that's a fully grown Jill, and you can see how tiny she is compared to a normal sized ferret there. Yeah, I mean, that's a small hob as well on here, like this one, but not. He's a slightly, he's a medium sized hob, but that just goes to show how tiny you can get them. But the good thing about these is you can just wrap them up into a ball and into your pocket, and away you go.
We wait patiently, and then a rabbit bolts, but the net does its job. Ian dispatches the rabbit. This one will be the ferret's dinner tonight, but there's been no clear chance for the young goss. We move across to warren number 2. This time a rabbit makes a run for it, but the inexperienced goss doesn't make up the ground. Time to put him away and bring out the big guns, Fugly and Rocket Ron. Ian is confident the Harris Hawk will perform as well as he did when we were out lamping a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he does that most days, to be fair, but no, he should be top form, to be honest. He's like a boomerang on his recall, so he'll be good. Nevertheless, whatever happens, he'll be okay.
Do you think he performs better with you than with Roy?
Yeah, definitely it performs better. Most birds perform better with me than with Roy, to be fair. But yeah, excellent.
I want to say what weight he is as well.
Oh yeah, he's flying at not a really nice weight of 111, and he hunts quite nicely at that. He's still got a little bit to put on at that. 111 is very high weight for a male arrowshawk, so he's a very good size.
There are some close calls when the rabbits finally decide to break, and at the moment Ron is not powering after the quarry. A different field will, we hope, deliver some action. The ferrets are working hard and sometimes playing hard to get. Finally we get some movement and Ron does his stuff. Ian dispatches the rabbit before Ron gets some heart and lung.
Okay, there we go. See how they sit back and taste that. They really enjoy their heart. There we go. Yeah, we try not to let them have too much shoulder meat, if I can help it, just in case there's any lead shot where someone's shot and it's only wounded rather than killed. If they've got lead shot in, they, you know, as soon as that goes in, it's lead poisoning straight away. And it can kill the bird within days. So.
Ron's got good table manners.
Yeah, he's got very good manners on the kills. Yeah, extremely good. Even at such a high weight as he is. So, yeah. Again, shows you how well I've trained him.
If there was a day for standing staring at warrens with no rabbits in them, this would be it. But there is a limit, and today sums up Roy's season.
Not particularly successful. We had only a couple in the bag, but it's better than sitting at home on a Sunday anyway. So we had a few flights. The rabbits were definitely proving a wee bit tricky, making it to cover and whatever else before we got a good run on them. Hey, what? Is it gone? Oh, hang on. Oh, what a... Oh, fuck. Oh.
Something up, Roy?
Pardon? That sums the day up, yeah. Rabbits put in the wrong place. I can't believe that. Oh, we've been sitting here at this earth waiting for a bolt for 20 minutes. We thought that was it, over and done with, just one ferret to pick up, and as we started to piece the camera, off it went. Yeah, that just about sums the day. What a wonderful day. Hopefully next season will be a damn sight better. We'll see.
Well, that's Field Sports. We're back next week. This has been Fieldsports Britain.